Welcome to Woke Mental Wellness Presents Windy City Nihilism. This is a debrief episode. While some cast members are mental health professionals, nothing in this episode or series should be construed or taken as medical advice. We speak to our lived experiences. If you have concerns, please contact someone in your care community and/or seek out an appropriate professional. No podcast can or should be used as a substitute for a relationship with a doctor, therapist, or other trained professional. Please also be aware that Talkback episodes cover a wide range of topics which may be hard for some listeners. Topics include, but are not limited to, suicide, death, depression, anti-Blackness, racism, sexism, transphobia, police, state-sanctioned murder, complicated relationships, sex and sexuality, hopelessness, financial anxiety, and strong language. Please take care of yourself as you listen, and remember, hope and resistance do best in community. Well, we finished a campaign. Welcome.
Air horn, air horn.
Welcome to the final Talkback episode of the Windy City Nihilism campaign. Y'all did it! Congratulations! You survived one of my horror campaigns. It's a rare feat.
I think this is my second.
What a wonderful time.
My second horror game by you that I've survived.
One
Just
shot
for
sometimes
the record.
campaigns, but yes, it is.
That's fair. Which I want to play it again. That shit was so much fucking fun.
Hey, did you sign up for it?
I missed it.
No, the signups are happening right now, aren't they? Oh shit, no, they are closed.
Nope, they closed. I missed it. I literally saw the fucking posting the day after. Yeah, I saw you were running a Dread game. I was like, fuck.
This is why you gotta pay attention. Anyway, back to the game we're here to talk about, everybody. So, yeah, so how's everybody feeling?
I am shocked. I am awed that we did not die.
I deeply related to our ending.
I feel like satisfied is the word. Like it feels like the end of this was satisfying.
Truly.
So shout out to you for that.
Aw, thank you. Okay, so now I am curious though. What made it satisfying for you all?
Well, we had I guess it's the whole thing from start to finish. So, the behind the scenes for those of you listening at home was us kind of talking about where things were going, what we were supposed to be doing and what things were or were not, kind of clarifying some stuff before the role play so that we knew what we were role playing into. That part was good because then when the moment showed up and I've had a better sense of what I was role playing into, it just made everything work. It helped my role playing decisions, and the role playing felt good because I got to put some notes in there that I can't wait to get into during this talk back.
I'm excited to get into Romero's monologue. I thought that was chef kiss.
Thank you.
But I find things like that very helpful too. I think a lot of people, when approaching actual play, don't like to talk above board about the story and where it's going. But I think it's something actually really important in that because one, we're here doing a collaborative story, right? We're building this together.
Yes.
It's okay to let your players have a peek behind the scenes or, answering clarifying questions for them because they are also building the story with you. And it can help to prepare yourself for a moment that you want to hit with your character too. Because there have been times I've been put on the spot in a very monumental moment for my character and I'm like, oh fuck, my mind is going a mile a minute. You know what I mean? I can't really do the thing I want to do because I am just frazzled, I guess. So yeah, I really like that. I really enjoyed watching these characters struggle with being vulnerable. Like, struggle with themselves and with each other. And like, in the end, I think taking really good strides like to overcoming that. And like, yeah, the fucking world is burning, but we can find a pocket of joy and embrace in that and partake in that. And is very much what the fuck is going on today. So I like that a lot.
Also, on the note of satisfying things, is us going to these monumental, like in moments of like just, you know, straight up like struggles with demons, but also internal like things going on and emotional stuff. And then coming right out of that and being like, oh, he texting you? Shut up. So we go into a block party about them ribs, actually.
He brought your grandma coffee? We didn't talk about that.
Felix just over there feeding on the mess.
Seriously, Felix is like, this is my moment. This is my end.
Like, I feel like this is one of those moments where all of the, and like, that's the other thing too. You can see even in the small interaction, how far they've come and developed. They're not strangers in the way that they were when they met each other. They're all better friends and have an understanding because they have had to live through, in a lot of ways, like literal physical like representations, all as dimensions of their traumas. They understand each other better as people, and they've had to deal with having to reveal to each other a lot of things that they haven't been able to verbalize. Just all of that stuff. It's just good how like you brought all of that together, and you know, as like fellow storytellers, how we brought all of that to life here, for everything from the facilitation to just how like we made that whole thing work.
Word.
Can I also say, like, I don't know. I think I might write an article because it was coming up. It was coming up on socials. I saw it a little bit on socials in between current events posts about people talking about modules and like the question of how do you decenter the GM and how do you decrease the like how do you even out the like labor ratio in a game and get rid of like the author or the auteur aspect of TTRPGs and stuff. And it was in the context of people talking about like running modules and stuff, especially because that does have a very specific like thing. And I'm just like, you know, I love Transplanar RPG. If y'all are not listening to Transplanar, watching Transplanar, what are you doing with your lives? Please shout out to Transplanar, to Connie and C. Fucking just talk about it. It's a fucking game. It's not like actors go into the play having not read the script because they're worried that they won't be able to play their characters if they know what's coming. Like, please, if you want to democratize your game, if you want a less hierarchical structure in your TTRPGs, actually co-create shit. Do some dramaturgy. Like, talk about what you're trying to build and where you're wanting to go. Not everyone has to know everything, even in an equal, flat, like decision-making structure or world-building structure, right? If we all agree that we want to be, that like folks want to be surprised, that too is a joint, like that is a collaborative, collective decision, and it still gets rid of that auteur thing. And so as soon as y'all were like, wait, like where is this going? I'm like, hold on, do you remember why we're here? Like, do you remember how we got here? And then being like, okay, you told me these things about the character, and going into it like that, and not being afraid to be like, no, we're like, you need to face yourself, right? It doesn't mean that we scripted what that meant or exactly what you would see, but also I think I've really, especially as I've grown as a GM over the years, letting people describe shit for themselves. And I did that a lot in the last battle and the last seal, like the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I felt the stakes of it all, which I really enjoyed as well.
And I like that it was like an appropriate ending. It seemed like it really like was a nice bookend to where we started, and just in that very first, you know, I don't know if it was like the first or the second episode, but this idea, well, it come up a lot over the campaign, but like in the first or second episode, this idea that like life doesn't stop because the world is ending, right? Like life doesn't stop because the world is ending. Like, yeah, we saved the world, and for now, right? For now, we've saved the world. And when we got back, we still have to go to work. And there's still messy situationships that need to be dealt with. And, you know, there's still life happening. The world is going on, even as the world is ending. And so I like that it ends kind of on that note of like, just a very mundane, still rolling on in the midst of all of this like supernatural and like cataclysmic stuff taking place.
It genuinely felt like collaborative in this story we built together, and that warms my fucking heart.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, it genuinely did. And I fucking love that. That's my fucking bread and butter. I love our ending. I really, really do. I deeply enjoy it. I would love to know, where do y'all see your characters in like 3 years after all this shit happened?
I mean, it could go any way. It can go any way. Like, you know, it's like, are me and Felix roommates? Who knows? There's like a buddy sitcom about Janessa and Felix, roommates in Chicago.
Bestie bitches.
You know, like literally, like what's going on here? You know, how does that fit into everything, right? I'm just thinking like, you know, the most random things like, oh, like Felix teaches swimming to the kids during the summer program. Just little cute things like that, you know, like as you know, Janessa continues her campaign to like make Felix a decent individual,
lots of training for
you know?
Felix, yeah.
It's like, it can't all be like kidnapping random people in the middle of the day. Like there has to be balance here, right? It's like, I won't question the demon things that you get up to if you come volunteer to teach the kids swimming during the summer program, right? I will look the other way on certain things. But like stuff like that, you know, I'm just thinking like, I don't know. I think it's gonna be, a lot of things are gonna stay the same. Again, it's like that, you know, that kind of like mundane, life goes on, right? Still working at the school. And honestly, it's like up in the air between what the situation with Ola will turn out to be, right? Because it's like, yeah, you know, obviously there's still feelings, but also like, he's a terrible human being, right? When like they fell out for a reason, right? And it's clear, you know, it's only been like a couple of days that he's been back around, and it's not as though his perspective on anything has particularly changed, right? So it's like, you know, in the context of like these demonic encounters, there's a version of Ola that there might have been a starting off point, but that doesn't correspond to the real him, right? The real him is still very much this very like kind of individual. So yeah. Who knows? I
feel like in the thing, it's not even that I'm even thinking about Ola being a different person, although maybe as much as Janessa has just moved so far after all of this, Janissa's just kind of like, you know what? Actually,
nigga, I got other shit to worry about.
The impact you have on my life is so small at this point. It's like, it goes from like you being like,
you taking up like, so much space in my life
to just like, being actually? Like, hey, how's it going? I was just, hey, hello, what's up? You know, it's normal things around here. No need to be dramatic about it. Just go and live your life in peace. You know, I hate like we've already had this conversation. It's in 5 bullet points at this point. Leave the kids alone. Don't be creepy around me. I don't like the police, and I'm never going to whenever you suggest it. We're never going to see eye to eye on that subject. So don't even bother bringing it up unless you want to come back and apologize. And when you do, it needs to be in the form of money with multiple commas in between. Thank you.
we know what demons are in this world. We know, right? It's called 12 inner demons. We've established pretty well that demons are, reflection in especially the demons, if they directly like glob onto someone, it's a reflection of something happening internally. So the question in my mind that I have at the end of this is whether or not Ruin comes back.
That's a great question. Ruin fed off of longing. That was their whole deal. Yearner vibes for sure. And I think Ruin makes a very deliberate choice to not come back for like a year. And I think in that year, Alexis like would have waited for Ruin to come back and like stayed in their apartment. This year passes and they're like, Ruin isn't coming back. I think Alexis moves. They pack all their shit, sell everything, and they fucking move and they start over. And I think eventually Ruin does come back, but they don't come back to Alexis. They they do approach Alexis like, hey stranger, but they are just like kind of in the world. You know what I mean? They haven't like attached themselves to a human, but they found their friend again for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it would just be one of those things where Alexis is living there. It's like the end of one of those movies where you're just like, you were sure that someone died, and then you just see them casually standing at a bus stop, and you're just like, is that who I think it is? And then like a car drives by and they're gone from view.
I picture like, I don't know. I think if Alexis packed up and moved, in my wildest dreams, I would want Alexis to like be pursuing some like fucking video game design shit. They were really good at computers. I think that's where their passions lie. And maybe they're in one of those like co-work places that you can, like rent out a little space in, and Ruin just saddles up next to them and is like, oh, actually that's wrong. And then they just looks over like, what the fuck? Where did you? And roll credits. Yeah, I'd like it if Ruin came back. I think that'd be cool.
Now I'm wondering if demons are supposed to be, right, like a corollary or like a parallel of your inner whatevers. What the hell is Felix correlating to? What? Like,
girl,
now I'm
is messy as fuck.
Now I'm wondering, like, what is going on?
You got a messy demon for a messy gal. Okay.
I mean, I guess. That's funny. That is funny.
You just remind me when you were like, I like fucking tense up because I'm not sure if this is gonna be damp or not. I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I'm like, is this thing gonna be wet and slimy? No.
Gotta find a drier, less damp form for you, please. Leaving wet spots. I just imagine if they live together. Like Janessa Rice regularly cussing him out as he leaves wet spots on all the furniture, like a Soul Glow commercial. Like, like, bruh, I need you to not be damp all over everything.
Here's my question. Did y'all catch what Felix did after Ruin spilled the beans?
And say, shit, yeah, go clean up my mess. Thank you. Ruin was like, oh, you went to go handle business. Cool. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't get my hands dirty. And they went on about their own business. I loved that though. Okay, so like, what the fuck? What on the GM side? Like, what do you imagine happened with that?
Oh, he absolutely killed that demon. He absolutely got rid of that mofo. Like, yeah.
That is so fucking good. I love Felix. My favorite NPC.
Wait, the traitor demon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not the one Ruin dropped the dude off to, which RIP to that man, but whatever.
Not that one. The one that, like, Ruin was like, oh yeah, it's for this. And then all of a sudden, the demon was like, no, you can't have it. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And then Felix was like, oh yeah, I gotta get something over there. You, gold tent over there. I'll catch up with you. And then when Ruin came out of that tent, there was like a commotion and there was like a tent that had been knocked down in the direction of the tent where they had been at first.
That's why I asked it too. I was like, is that where we just came from? You're like, yep. I'm like, heard and understood. Shout out to Felix.
Nah, Felix is that quiet fixer type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It does. Janessa being upset that Felix was never like in the muck with us.
It's like, bro, I'm getting jumped over here. Where were you?
Where are you?
Where are you at when I'm getting beat up? Always suspiciously absent. But yeah, I mean, if that's not me though, like I'm not gonna be there getting beat up with you, but like I'll be there afterwards to help you like patch things up, pay your bail, help you find a lawyer, right? Like fix whatever was broken, but I'm not getting beat up with you. So I really respect Felix on that because that's very much my MO as a person, like me, Emrys.
And this is why we need to know what our strengths and our roles in liberation and change are, because not everyone is a frontline brawler, and that's fucking fine. We need everybody. But that's I know folks didn't react, and I was curious if folks had figured out what had happened there.
It's funny. That is very funny, especially because in my head, Felix is like really tall and lanky.
Mm-hmm.
So like thinking about him just beating up some dude is really funny to me.
Oh, I don't think he beat him up. I think he just straight up banished his ass.
Oh, wow.
Because Felix is like, well, you know how demon things work. You have to do these long, complicated rituals. You got to do all this and do all of that. But Felix is like, that don't mean what we don't. Yeah. Because when I have time, I got time.
Exactly. I'm curious because I know, for me as a player, I have, Amina, this NPC that was like existed, but never really interacted with outside of like the demonscape. I'm curious about like other NPCs that folks had thought, had dreamt up that didn't appear in the game.
You got most of mine, but that's because, I was the target. So that kind of had to, so they had to be a thing.
Yeah, you got at least most of yours. I don't think we got to share.
There were share and like one other person that was constantly over here in the background taking credit for my work in meetings and things like that.
Yeah, Clay was just very close when the demon form was like off and it was like a hybrid of you and Clay. That's the only time Clay came up. But yeah, otherwise we managed to get most of yours in. And some ones that I had made up in regards. I will say it's very funny because it's always the one-off that ends up being the like, oh shit, wait, that might have to bring that back for this or what have you. And that was the case with the stuffy board member guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that guy.
So if we want to talk about that was his whole voice is just kind of like, it's such a, he's one of those people, like in real life, that person just has a really punchable face and they also have a punchable voice. Like you hear this person, you're just like, Although I do want to say something about the fact that we had to call him back because that I think was important. Knowing that where we were going with this, I thought it would be really cool to put in a little insert, a bit of commentary, if you will.
Yeah.
About how you, as a person who is in activism spaces, have to deal with like the kind of things that you have to deal with will have you, even when you're trying your very best to avoid it, have you internalizing the voices of your enemies and it being like, this is you now. Like that, it's like, this is your inner monologue. So the idea of hearing that inner monologue, calling it back to a memory and being like, is this me that's causing all of this? Or is it just like the enemy has my voice now?
Yeah. And I have to say that was, oh God, that was so good. When you were like, I think the demon sounds like him now. I was, oh God, I had to keep it together because I needed to like do the thing. But oh my God, that was so good. I was so happy. That was absolutely immaculate.
And I'm just like, there's a phobia in why they're not taking space, because in a lot of spaces, especially for our melanated kin, the people who are always asked to do a little bit less or ask a little bit less or to wait their turn or to be like, progress has to be incremental. And I'm not saying that it doesn't, but the people who are usually said like, okay, well, let's do this and then you can have your turn are usually those people. And then you have to go, things like voting rights, for example, being like, I mean, y'all could have some voting rights, but first, like women, okay, we want women to have voting rights. Okay, well, let me be more specific. Let me go ahead and get the white women voting rights first, and then we can talk about everybody else in like 1965 PS. I will never forget that, mostly because that means my mom would have been a 5th grader by the time that Black women could vote in the country, to put that in perspective.
Yep, and that's only on paper.
And so I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about things like that, like the voices that we have to combat that tell us like, wait your turn, do things decently and in order, have some decorum, because if you don't, then they're not going to listen to you and they're not going to take you seriously and they're not going to give you the funding or whatever it is you want. And it's kind of one of those, at some point you hear that enough that they don't even have to say it to you. It just becomes a thing in the background. And it's not until you have to look at it and really reflect on it that you're just like, who taught me that? Who told me that? Where did that voice come from? And can I ask them to please in this moment, shut the full fuck up? I don't need their input right now.
Yes.
Shut the entire hell up.
So thank y'all for letting me have that moment and sharing that moment with me.
It reminds me of Mississippi Goddamn by Nina Simone, right? And I pulled up the lyrics because of course I did. And right towards the end, yes, you lied to me all these years. You told me to wash and clean my ears and talk real fine just like a lady, and you'd stop calling me Sister Sadie. Oh, but this whole country is full of lies. You're all gonna die and die like flies. I don't trust you anymore. You keep on saying, go slow, go slow. But that's just the trouble, too slow. Desegregation, too slow. Mass participation, too slow. Reunification, too slow. Do things gradually, too slow. But bring more tragedy, too slow. Why don't you see it? Why don't you feel it? I don't know. I don't know. Also, I fucking love that song.
Imagine me being alive at a time that Nina Simone was making art.
What a time that would have been in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. I think the one thing about this project that's interesting is we started talking about it before elections started, like finalized the cast before inauguration, started recording like the day before inauguration. And we ended up with so many fucking episodes. RIP my bank account. But it's interesting to think we're recording this the day after No Kings, right? This probably isn't going to come out until like the end of this year or maybe even the beginning of next year. Because we're right now, as we're recording this, the plan is every other week release schedule. And we've got somewhere between 30 and 40 episodes.
Damn.
Yeah, motherfuckers, you long-winded bitches. No, I love y'all. But we have somewhere between 30 and 40 episodes. And y'all, that's like a whole year and a quarter.
We some certified yappers, but we did that.
And now I'm thinking like, there's a part of me that's like, how much of what we're talking about in this campaign is going to be relevant in a year? And there's the part of me that wants to be like, I sincerely hope that it's not relevant anymore, but it probably will be, right? Like the optimism mixed with the realism. Like, I hope it's not relevant, but it's probably going to be still very, very relevant.
I think it's one of those pieces of art that's going to be relevant as long as the need to resist and be vigilant about these things is. That's just like, that's an acknowledgement we have even at the end of this. It's just like, like this is over and it's kind of like, this is like a momentary reprieve. There's going to be some nonsense somewhere, but we have each other, and that's the important thing at the moment. And I think that lesson is that's evergreen. That's evergreen. And I wish it weren't, but it is.
Right? You saved the world for now, but like the luxury condos are still there. The celestial monies will still be there, right? Like
or at least waiting in the rafters to reappear.
Yeah, like the gentrification is still going to be gentrifying,
The celestial monies and stuff were gone. At the end there, I described that there wasn't one across the street.
The community gardens were back and like people were talking to each other and all of those things. And at the same time, it's one of those, the feeling of we're through this moment, but it's not like, it's not like over forever. And I think that was kind of like a running thing through the whole series from start to finish, was just kind of like, this isn't the first time it's happened, and it's not the last time it's happened either. This is it just happens to be our turn, if I can put it in air quotes like that. I would love for it to be no one's turn at some point, but I don't know if we're gonna get there in my lifetime.
Right. We can hope.
Actually, I take that back. I would like it to be a couple of people's turn, and very specifically, the kind of people who contribute to either the people who contribute to genocide and or the people who supply the British Museum. I want it to be their turn, specifically.
Specifically, yeah.
Heavy on the British Museum.
Yeah.
Like, very, very heavy on it being their turn.
It's that thing of, I've seen it in a post, and it comes up every time, shit starts popping off of like, I believe in this stuff so much that the way someone put it, this was the first time I'd seen it this way, and I laughed because it's someone who said, I believe so much that everybody should have healthcare and things that I think Nazis, I want them to have healthcare too. And the anti-fascism part of this is that I want them to need it.
Yeah. Heavy on that.
Heavy on that shit, yes.
We now have free healthcare for everyone, and that means that I do not have to feel as bad when someone runs the fade that you were owed. So,
Yep.
There's also a piece of this work, because this is very indulgent art, right? Like this is being made as a podcast and everything, but I think we all agree that we did what we wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Word.
And did.
And I do think that there was a piece of this that we all have our own rage, but in different ways, but in ways that we can talk about. And I think that also very heavily made it into this work in a lot of different ways. And the ways that it both conflicts and meshes, and like the complexity of it wasn't boiled down into a Disney like non-violence only or violence all the time. It was very real, because I think that's where we're at, and I think that's important too. And I was really happy about that, and happy about honoring rage as part of this art.
I want to say, to accompany that note, I appreciate that for the nonprofit I was working, because I basically said, hey, I work as a grassroots nonprofit organization that does activism things that are community service oriented. I appreciate so much that you put in there that we had grants we were writing, funding that we were trying to do, in community gardens that we were having, but also that we are also responsible for things like organizing protests. Like, I feel that that is also important. You're just like, it was nice, and I feel very necessary to be like, this community organization that wants community gardens is also like out here in these streets with these people being like, but what are you doing in front of the governor's house? And they're the same group of people. Like, I appreciate that, because it just kind of also indicates the, obviously within reason, and why everybody having their own part is important. Everything needs to be done. Everybody can't do everything, but there's something for everyone to do, because you can't just go one way or another. We have to do all of the things all together. Like, people need food and housing and like support in all of these other material ways. And people also have to like show up at like the front line and be like, I don't know why you think you're gonna be able to eat your turkey dinner in peace while people are out here starving in these streets. Come on outside, come outside.
Yes, absolutely.
And if these no kings protests are any indicator, I'm just saying.
You know, sometimes stuff is going to happen. Sometimes stuff needs to happen. And maybe you just, you know, look the other way while it's happening, right? It's like, yeah, you know, Janice is not going to tell Felix to not be a demon and to not do demon stuff. But maybe it's like, okay, maybe just do demon stuff to those specific individuals, right? And, you know, if we disappear a couple CEOs for demonic purposes, you know, she's not going to be super pressed about it, basically, right? Because it's like, yeah, you know, Felix has a role too. Just got to help him figure out where it is.
Mm-hmm. And that's the mental health part of all this shit, right? It's called 12 Inner Demons, right? And there's an aspect that I very heavily believe, and I is part of my work seeing clients of like, the point isn't to eradicate every part of yourself that you dislike. There are some parts that aren't yours, right? That internalized capitalism, internalized oppression, those were grafted into you by society. And then the parts that are you, that adapted to that, are you, which means we gotta learn how they work and how to get along with them, how to reunite with our whole self. And that was definitely part of my agenda throughout this whole story, is like, hey, there are things here that are a problem, that are not us, that are not of humanity, that are not helpful. And there are other parts that are actually like part of us, bred from us, that maybe we need to really look at and figure out, how do we get this back on track?
So let me ask you, as a facilitator, how did, like, for this like last half of this particular encounter, a couple of things. How did it feel to be on the facilitating side of this? Especially when I was just kind of like, hey, I don't know if I can do this or not, but can I do that?
I mean, it felt great, because I love doing horror. I love being a little menace and everything. But at the end of the day, I'm not playing with people to tamp down on their creativity. I am much, much more to throw the rule book out the window than I am to shut down a cool idea. I love it when people, when the environment is such that folks have cool ideas and craft them into the story and take up that mantle and are co-facilitating with me, co-creating, co-storytelling, collaborative, collective. I love that. And it felt great to just be like, yes, here are the reins. Tell me how that works. And even with that roll with the chain, I was like, okay, actually, this whole time you've been telling me each number you get, I'm going to work that in, right? All right, first one is a 1. this shit fucking hurts. Part of you just wants to drop it and let it do as it please. Let it go somewhere else, do whatever. And it burns. But then like it's strong and it feel like, right? It's strong, it feels insurmountable. And then it's like, nah, you have this, you're not alone. And then the like, yeah, no, not alone, I can do this. This is actually brittle and breaking it. There's no way that happens without giving you the reins of that scene.
I will say that exchange also just felt fun to have. And I will say, as a person, that conversation also feels very familiar with a lot of things, especially because the last few years have brought me into some good, wholesome relationships with talking about things like how I feel about the world and the systems that we have to live through, but also like my own queerness in some ways, and having to be like, where did I get these notions from? How did I pick this up? And how does that cause me issues or conflict with other people? Because, like, it's the internalized capitalist or the internalized like state agent police person that you have in your brain that just goes, that's not the good, normal, proper way for you to be doing these things in society, and be like, okay, but who said that? So, especially when the last thing that you have is a phobia, and the phobia is just, hey, who did you get that from? Why are you afraid of and especially when the thing that I'm afraid of, and I will say this also because me and Romero, like, that is like the self-insert that Romero has, is that the thing that I have had to work really hard at having a better relationship with is expressing anger and allowing that to speak when when it is appropriate to have those things, and not knowing when it's appropriate, especially because they're just like, something you can't do that or be too angry, or you have to be careful about how you express yourself even when you're angry, because if you come across as dangerous or threatening, that's going to cause other problems you don't want.
Yeah.
Especially in situations where other people might have more power or influence than you, which I'm just like, but that's always the case. And also, I'm not less angry because of that. It's just turned elsewhere to things and people that don't deserve it. So now what do I do?
Yeah. And the conflict avoidance of our culture. And I think this came across too, of like, hey, conflict avoidance, it doesn't fucking work. And I feel like a lot of the like, nonviolence will save us, and nonviolence means being accepted by the people we're protesting. That's conflict avoidance. You're trying to avoid a thing that is already happening, which is state violence.
And it will literally kill you.
And it will literally kill you. And it's like, I wish people actually learned history in the United States, because MLK was not alone. MLK had armed people escorting them across the bridge, because the first time they tried, they didn't make it. The idea that like they shut down the buses and like blocked roads and like blocked businesses and all of these things for years. And so I think that too is an important reminder of like, it wasn't just like, oh, we marched on Saturdays and then they realized that, yeah, we're gonna give you some rights. No, there were riots. Shit was shut down financially. And a lot of people fucking died before it got so bloody that they could no longer be so overt in their oppression. And I don't think people remember that. I don't think people remember that, like, a lot of times those turning points are because things did get bloody and they could no longer portray things a certain way. And people did die being nonviolent, sitting in the street. And I think we really do have to reckon with the fact that everything costs something, not in a capitalistic way.
A time, I have to wonder with all of this, when Romero does get out of, finally go back to their job, that's also going to be a thing to consider, because that's also what does their job look now? How do they come back and approach society having dealt with all of this internal stuff and then having a therapist to kind of guide them through it? What does that future look like for them? That's going to be interesting. It
is. Yeah, what did I say? Yeah, we all could use some therapy after this for sure.
I mean, in character, and I mean, honestly, outside of character, I don't know how I've only made it this far through life without it because I have to. So.
Very much that.
That's it. Listen, all expenses paid vacation to the Grippy Sock Hotel. 3 besties, having a little group stay at the nearest inpatient recovery center does not sound like a bad idea after, some of the shit we done been through and seen.
Mm-hmm. Well, and to be fair, honestly, I want a world where that's not how we handle things. I don't want people to have to incarcerate in order to get healing. I would love for the answer to be our characters, there's a respite. There's a respite house or hotel or something where you can still get guidance and care, but in a way that actually feels better and doesn't mean that you have to be locked up in a locked ward with white walls and grippy socks. Grippy socks optional. Maybe you want something else. And I dream of those options where where people can get help without, having to be taken away for everything, because not everything needs it. There may be some circumstances that do, but I don't think any of the characters in this story need that.
I agree with that. So it's I think for Alexis' future, they fucking start over. I think it's okay to not really have a place to go to next as long as you are trying in the fucking first place, if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're all the way over here, I guess here's a question I have for everyone. What was your favorite in-character moment or as facilitator moment across all the episodes?
Don't at me, but Ruin dying, honestly, chef kiss. I love it.
Say more.
Wild.
I just thought it was appropriate. I think honestly for Ruin, what I always saw for them was them not making it out on the other side of this, admittedly, because of how much they struggled with their existence as a demon and these ties that they have formed, and just, the rest of them being vulnerable. And I think Ruin was always a little bit kind of self-sacrificey, I think Ruin is a very inherently selfish character, but I think this is the one time that they took an action that was not going to benefit them in any fucking way. This whole time on the adventure, they'd be we need to get this shit settled so we can continue to live life. Y'all not gonna fuck this up for me. And for them to have ended it with just giving themselves to this cause to give their human companions a chance was really good for me.
Very cathartic. I really, really like that moment in I don't know if it was episode 1 or episode 2 where we were just I think it was kind of the flip side of Ruin, you know, being like this sense of urgency, like we got to get this figured out, like the world is ending, blah, 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 blah. And me and Janessa and Romero just being like, niggas die every day. Like,
Oh, that conversation in the fucking like Jamaican spot. I think that's when it was.
No, it was at Romero's house. It was at Romero's house, like breakfast that day. And it was just like, it's
the world's
like,
on fire all the fucking time.
It's like, yeah, it's like, where were you? You know, or you only have this sense of urgency now that you're going to be impacted by it. Right. And so I really like that moment specifically. That was good. I liked it. I think it set a good tone for a lot of the character development that happened in the game.
My answer to this, I've already talked about some of the moments, and so I'm gonna take this question and I'm gonna swerve with it. I have to say, my messy, petty bitch ass absolutely loved any fucking time I could bring Ola into this story because everybody lost their shit, and I from the side chat in the Discord to in game in character. As a facilitator, I loved being able to, like, on a lot of the NPCs, but Ola, the board member, and Felix, because every time y'all had massive reactions to them, and that made me so happy.
Oh, man, Ola's just... I don't know. He was just like an amalgamation of all of like the worst guys you've ever met in your life. Yeah. And it's just so bad. It's so bad.
You see how art imitates real life? Because we were just talking about shit like that before.
Literally, were we just talking about it? We were just talking about it. And it's like something about them. It's like still you're just like, but maybe, yeah. Even though it's messy, and even you're like, girl, don't. You're still like, but what if I did?
What if? Yeah.
It's just so bad. It's so bad. But I think it's like, that character. I think it also reveals like the age of the characters, right? Like we're only in our 20s, right? We're messy as fuck.
I think you're right. Well, hold on. I want to bounce off that though, because I think you're right about like it shows these characters' ages, because it's like we're definitely in our 20s, but I feel like we're past that halfway point of like playing games and shit. Exactly. But we're still like trying to fuck around and find out on the lowest key. And then I was going to say, like, on the note of Ola, I loved when he fucking was talking with Romero. I deeply enjoyed that fucking conversation. And Romero was like, so walk me through this, because, you know, like, you thought what? And you brought her grandma, huh? And on talking about grandma, I love grandma. I loved her and Romero's conversation as well in that kitchen.
I also enjoy not just Ola, but specifically Janissa's reactions, because the way that it feels like every 90s movie where you're just like, every time, like, you know, those 90s movies, like Love and Basketball or any of those things, wherever you would see that one, and it was always that one person walking across the screen, you're just like, Lord, here he go. Every time she tried to do right, something like, why you gotta be here, right?
I love that you brought up Love and Basketball specifically, because it was the main dude for me. Leave her alone. Get your paws off her. Let her flourish. I hated that man.
And then, like, for me, but like, then to see my messy ass, to see, like, I was going to go into defense mode about Janissa, and then Ola's over here on that real scary shit of being like, listen, I'm not trying to have like Janissa bite my whole head off or whatever. I was just bringing coffee over here, and it's kind of like, I mean, you want me to?
You want to come say hi?
You want me to like let her know you're looking for her? No, you don't. I can call her. I can call her right now. I got her phone number. Just a couple of buttons. No. I'm good, actually. Well, you were on her way to her grandma's house. I could just tell her that you're here. She doesn't need to know I'm here. It's just it's either, I don't know if he's afraid of hands or a restraining order, but he's just apparently she's not the one, right? So it went from me being defensive to me just being utterly amused at how this man is doing his best to be it has the energy of why is he being a fuckboy to be he's just if you don't mind, I would like to bring you this 5-pound bag of coffee to your grandmother's house. She said it was a flavor that she liked. Side note, not grandma being well, I'm not trying to get into the middle of this, but the hustle is the hustle. So let me go on ahead and get and she just looked at you sweetie, if he can't be useful to you, that's fine. I don't see why he can't be useful to me, because I wasn't about to go out of the house if I didn't have to. I love her.
And she right.
So the messiness is hereditary. Why would you do that?
Because here's the thing. If there's an Ola for her, if there's her version of whoever that old flame is that she can't quite extinguish, I would love to know, because I'm pretty sure that's why she's as good as she is at making those demon repelling barriers. She made it for them. It just happens to also repel demons.
My headcanon. Okay, so y'all want to get real mad real fast?
Sure.
Yes, I do, actually.
My headcanon about why Ola was so fucking weird about Romero when you saw him going up there is because it don't work as well. So Janessa has already made this whole big deal of you only want clout, you only do nice things because you think you're gonna get something out of it. And so if you tell her, if you call her, it looks performative. And so he doesn't want anyone to know because he doesn't want it to look performative.
Even though that's exactly what the fuck it is.
Mm-hmm.
Negus.
If he's no, don't tell anything, don't worry about it, just a gift, no worries, you're gonna tell her no matter what. He knows you're gonna tell her no matter what. But if he's nah, don't tell anyone, and you're hey, Ola just was super weird and didn't want you to know he was here, but dropped this off for your grandma, it looks better.
Or something, he didn't want to tell you, but I just thought you should know.
Yes, exactly.
Sneaky bastard.
Maybe he's actually turning over a new leaf, head ass.
In my mind, it's not that Ola is irredeemable, but it is that Ola still very much believes he is doing the right thing. And so he's coming at it with the attitude of someone who is trying to show and convince that he is doing the right thing and does know what he's talking about. And he's very, very skillful at that. But what that means is he is also very manipulative because he is coming at the interactions and the relationship not with the agenda of wanting to get to know someone, not with the mutually wanting to build something there. He's coming at it of the I'm right, you just don't know it yet, which is a very toxic way to go about love and relationships in general, even platonic, romantic, sexual, it doesn't matter. It is a very toxic way to come at relationships. And that, for me, at this moment, for who Ola was in this story, that's who he is right now.
It's just that thing. It's some people change. Sometimes people change and they grow. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't grow and they change. Sometimes someone's terrible, and then you see them 3 years later and they're still just as terrible as they were 3 years ago. And you just have to accept that. Like, damn, you really have not changed at all. You still are on the same type of energy that you were back then. That's disappointing.
Ola, what a time.
True.
And it's just like, when you find someone who does this right, because Ola, I think relatively to a lot of things, didn't necessarily have like a lot of screen time, but it hit apparently, because here we are still like remembering all of the nonsense, even at this far into the show. So we're here.
The definition of like living rent free.
Right? It's like, that's how, listen, that's just the mess of it all with these particular people. Like, they're messy, and you're like, this is very much like not a smart association to keep alive in any way, shape, or form. I should block this person. I should delete their phone number. I should delete all the messages, but I'm not going to do that, even though I should. And even though I'm telling myself I'm not going to talk to them, and maybe I don't, I'm still not going to sever that, because there's that part of me that just is messy and lives for drama. When you're in your 20s, you do that. I know I did a lot.
And that's why Janessa has Felix.
Oh, so like, is Felix just here for, quietly speaking, the people that I latch on are just people who just need the tea?
Felix is there for the messy, apparently.
I feel like of the different things that we had happen, my favorite moments are somewhere between kind of like the inner monologue that came through all the dreams and things where Romero was talking to himself, and the boardroom scene.
Ooh, yes, actually.
Fun fact, giving impassioned speeches is terrifying for me in tabletop games, right? Especially when they're just like, hi, I would like you to do this, and if you do this well, then this happens, and if you don't do this well, then this happens. Because there are normally like really heavy stakes on it. And so it's kind of like, I have to talk in a way that people care about things. And it's always kind of like a concern where I feel like it's one of those things, like, this isn't just like, hey, we're talking about trying to get somebody to like give me like a sword or like a magical piece of armor or something like that. It's one of those things like, if you say this, right, people live, and if you don't, then people might actually die. And so it's kind of like one of those things where I like have that moment, and then I have to like take a moment to come down from the emotions of just being like, this feels very close to home when I have to talk to people in real life about things that I care very deeply about, and be like, I need you to understand and empathize with stuff. Because we're talking about, in that board meeting scene, things like talking about defunding like placement programs and job programs and community garden and development programs and all of this other stuff, and being like, I'm pulling from that whole speech. I'm pulling from the real life experiences of having to talk to people about, this is why you should care about things and not just like throw things and or people away. This is why this stuff is important, and having to be like, I hope between sharing what my lived experience is like and giving you the facts and the figures that you need to read, you decide to reconsider these decisions. Especially for people who are just like, well, we're just motivated by like money and things. And also we just know better than you because, obviously we have money because we're smart people.
So, last round of thoughts, comments, tie-ins for the whole season, the whole story.
Y'all are fucking brilliant. That's it. Simply really enjoyed building this story with y'all. Genuinely.
Particularly if you are a person with a marginalized identity and whatnot, if you were going to make art, if art is the thing that you are drawn to, if that's your spot in the revolution of things, this is the time to lean into the part of the art that you're afraid of. And in a lot of times that means having to tell the truth about things. If there's a time that you're going to do it, this is that time. This is not the time to be cute about wrapping up problems neatly in a bow or anything like that. Things are allowed to be messy and complicated, and you're allowed to have creative ways of solving things that, people don't typically think about or what have you. So if you were waiting for your sign to go and do the things, here this is. Consider this like bright neon lit, posted directly in front of your house.
Do the thing, make the thing. It needs people want to see it. People need to see it.
People want to see it and need to see it. And also there are people who would like to help you make it and probably feel just as isolated as you do.
Yeah. I'm going to say this campaign has been an idea in my head for, at the time of this recording, which is in June of 2025 is when we're recording this, mid-June, for like 2 years at least. It's been an idea in my head, and I didn't think anyone would want to play it for the longest. For the longest time, I didn't think anyone would want to play it. I thought it would be too heavy. I thought it would be too much, that folks would find it exhausting, that folks would find it offensive. And then also just like the money and stuff. And so I just kept putting barriers in front of my, because I was like, well, it's gonna, I don't have an editor anymore. The podcast, it would cost money, and people aren't going to want to play it anyway because it's going to be too much. It's too serious. And, we're kind of in this culture of overcorrection in TTRPGs, where what it means to be a channel of people of the global majority, a lot of times folks associate that with like, we don't even touch these topics kind of overcorrection. And not everybody, obviously, but it's a common thing because, again, there's a lot of avoidance and a lot of folks just it's not their idea of fun, and that's fine. But my God, y'all have this for the last 6 months has been an amazing experience to play with you all and have such camaraderie and have folks that are like, not only are we interested in playing this, but this is our salvation too. This is our hangout joy for the week too. Has been so affirming. And I want to thank y'all for creating this story with me and taking this little seed and nurturing it into this absolutely absurd, probably almost 40 episode podcast.
Why, thank you. And thank you for having us along. It's been good.
Like, this is my emotional support campaign.
And I love that it is. I love that you feel that way because the feeling is very much mutual too. I was texting my friend like, today's the day. And they're like, oh, it's ending. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. And this is my first time playing in an actual play ever. So this means a lot to me on many levels because it's always something that I've wanted to do. And so getting invited to participate in this was like such a big deal. I've not shut up about this to any of my friends for the whole entire time. Like, oh my gosh, you guys, I can't believe they picked me. So I'm super happy about this and super excited to just be in this and also share this with everyone in my life.
I know you're looking at me waiting for me to say anything. What I can think is we have a certain other piece of media that I also would like to talk to you about at some point. So,
are you talking about Sinners?
Are you talking about Sinners?
Yes. I might be.
Right. So who knows? Who knows, y'all? Maybe there's another little thing we might do. Let's talk about Sinners. It is coming out on DVD soon, and it is already streaming, so we'll see. But all right, y'all, last thoughts of Windy City Nihilism, or words of advice or wisdom for folks trying to maintain some semblance of ability to help themselves and others in this time where The world seems to be ending.
It's okay to show up how you can, where you can, and don't let people make you feel bad for that. And I think it's really important to chase your joy in the forms that may take, as long as you're not harming yourself and others, And I think that's really important. And community, that's the fucking theme. Seek out community.
As the fucking police.
As the fucking pigs are flying by. Anyway, seek out your fucking community. Talk to your neighbors. Say hi. Get to know your local barista's name. Truly anything.
Volunteer. Get in there. Get your hands dirty. Do something. It's so easy to do nothing when you feel overwhelmed by anxiety or by fear. Do something to make the world a better place. Like, every little bit counts seriously. Like, your small act of kindness could be the only thing between somebody else and despair. So do it, whatever it is, right? Because all of those things add up at the end of the day.
I feel like I've said mine for the most part, but what I'm going to add here, specifically as the target for this archdemon that was latching onto trauma and willing to end the world, if you are a person who listens to this podcast and you feel like Romero is kind of like me for real, I want you to find a way to book an appointment with a mental health professional. I would invite you to call your closest friends and have just one or several very vulnerable moments about where you are, because Romero's whole thing is that in a world where he has a whole job about connecting people, most of the time, he feels alone. Address that. There's something to be said about suffering in silence and how most of the time it is unnecessary. And at this point, it is vitally necessary that you don't.
I think those are all good points, and so I have nothing to add on that side. I'm going to speak to any of my mental health colleagues who might be listening to this podcast or the talkbacks. Affirm the fact that shit is wild right now. Do not be afraid to acknowledge in session that there is a lot outside of our control that is impacting people. Be honest about the fact that you don't have the answers. Be honest about the fact that it's not going to just get better through a session or two a week. That CBT, DBT all have their limits, and that in the face of overwhelming fascism and oppression, they are not going to be enough. Be honest about that with yourself and others. Stop trying to be a savior and be a comrade. Be an accomplice. Be a real fucking person in the therapy room, so that all these folks who are looking for help actually feel like they're getting it. I am seeing way too many people popping up in my comments on my socials talking about how their therapist is making them feel insane because they won't acknowledge the world. So if you are a mental health professional, a peer support specialist, a doctor, a nurse, hell, even a lawyer, I don't care your profession. If you are a professional that is supposed to be helping people and you are not acknowledging what is happening right now, you are complicit. Stop it. Change. Look at what you're afraid of and why you are not doing your job, and fix that shit so that you are not doing harm. Because people need help, and for us to tell folks, if the answer is to go to therapy, we need therapists who can be real about what is happening. And it's already too hard to find a therapist. Between costs and the fact that there just aren't enough of us, we don't also need to start putting landmines in the form of shitty clinicians out here. If you can't support the cause, get out of the way. Stop harming people because you like your position as a gatekeeper.
Honestly, work.
So, this is it, y'all. This is the last thing people are gonna hear of this campaign. Tell the people who you've been, and if you want to be found, where they can find you.
I'll go first, I suppose. Hi, my name is Cynthia, your resident he, they, and I am very proud to have been Romero Marcus, they, he, a very traumatized activist who has spent some time learning about decolonizing their own selves, because that work never ends, even when you're an activist, and learning how to be vulnerable with people and let them be vulnerable in return. It has been an honor to be here. You can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitch with the same name, just Cinziek in all of those places.
I'm Blue. You can find me in the internet streets as KingV_. That's King with a Y. At the best of time, fucking playing Rowan and Alexis for a bit there too. Any and all pronouns for them, they them pronouns for me. You can also catch me where Value Guards is. And yeah.
And I am Emrys. My pronouns are they, them. I have been the frazzled Janessa Wallace, she, her. You can find me on Blue Sky at TheDragonEmrys, or on Tumblr at the same name if you're a Tumblr girly.
And I've been your storyteller. I'm Cassie, also known as Lamia, and you can find me where you find me, usually under intersections in some way, shape, or form, mostly on Blue Sky. But thank you for listening. Thank you for taking this journey with us. I hope you got something from it, whether it was entertainment, affirmation, or new shiny nightmares of moist things. I hope you can show it to a friend and build some relationships, because as we've been saying this whole time, resistance does best in community. Hope as a practice does best in community. We keep us safe. Take care, everyone. Thank you for listening to Woke Mental Wellness Presents Windy City Nihilism, a 12 Inner Demons homebrew podcast. This podcast has been made possible in part thanks to a grant from Diversity Saves. Episodes are edited by Marissa Ewing of Hemlock Creek Productions. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a review and tell your friends. If you want to help financially, you can visit the Woke Mental Wellness Ko-Fi listed in the show notes. Take care, and remember, hope and resistance do best in community.